You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 41. Today is March 6, 2021. Today on the podcast, I have another podcaster. His name is... Fuck, I didn't get your name.
Brett with the Can't Quit My Day Job podcast.
Dude, I've been listening to your podcast for a little bit. I think all day today I was listening to it. You guys are funny, dude. You and your buddy are funny.
Yeah, we try. It's one of those things. We've been bullshitting with each other forever, so It's pretty easy to go and sit there and record.
Modelo jacket, Modelo shirt, bro. Nice.
Yeah, but this is from 2016 when we hit 3 million cases.
Nice. Yeah. I think they gave us something similar when we hit 1 million for Pacifico. But first, I want to start out this podcast with probably like a little sad news. An officer lost his life today. Jose Anzora happened to be Officer Ricky's co-worker. He was one of the officers that was involved in a what do you call it? Like a couple car crashes. One of them was in a motorcycle and lost his life instantly. The other one was in another crash, and I guess he passed away this week. So prayers out to the family, and Ricky, hang in there, buddy. But back to the podcast. I started listening to your podcast because I bumped into a bumped into a coworker a few months ago, and I mentioned to him, hey, I have a podcast and blah blah, and he said, hey, yeah, these two guys, and again, there's two of you. You're Brett.
I'm Brett.
You're Brett.
I'm Brett, and then Michael's the other one.
Okay, so I have Brett on the podcast today. I should have started with that one. So he mentioned to me, hey, there's these two guys that work out of the San Bernardino warehouse that do a podcast as well. And he said the name. So I, found you guys instantly right away. I'm like, oh shit. I started kind of listening to the first one. I do a podcast, but I'm not a podcast kind of guy. I'll listen to a morning show. I'll listen to their podcast, but I know them personally. And when I see podcasts that are like an hour, 2 hours long, you have one that's like 3 hours long. That was
3.5.
That was probably gonna take me like a month to listen to. And
it's not worth it.
No.
Don't listen to that one. Just skip it.
Just skip it.
That one was literally, I went on vacation up to San Francisco, and I just bought the microphone. So like our beginning episodes, the audio is shit because we recorded straight off my cell phone.
Same here, bro. First 4 episodes were garbage.
I went and I bought we got a Blue Yeti. We sold stickers. That's what our podcast is all funded from the podcast. So we bought a Blue Yeti from sticker sales.
Okay.
And that 3-hour episode, I went to San Francisco. It was the first week I had the Yeti, and I was like, I'm gonna make it big. And it was 3 hours with 2 guys that were construction workers, and we literally were just talking about complete random shit and we're just drinking beers and talking, and it just was as soon as I walked in the room, we hit record, and as soon as I walked out of the room, we ended it. It was just it's a long fucking it was a hard one for me to listen to go and edit it.
Yeah. No, that's why I came up with the idea. Is if I'm listening to a podcast, and even though I'm entertained and I look at it, I'm like, fuck, I still have an hour to go? Then that's what gave me the idea to not make my episodes that long. I try to keep them. I try to cap them at 45 minutes. Some episodes go longer. Some of them are shorter. It is what it is. Like I tell people, the longer the episode, the more I have to edit. So
yeah,
I don't want to be in here.
Not me. I stopped editing. I went in and I used to edit. The only thing I edit now is sound quality. I just try to go and build up a good sound quality. But most of the time, Michael and I, we just start riffing, and that's the thing is we talk all day. We're both delivery drivers for our beer company, and we just talk all day because that's the only thing that could go and keep us sane. When you're stacking beer at 4:00 in the morning, what's the best thing to do? Talk to the guy that's next to you stacking beer at 4:00 in the fucking morning. So we always are talking. So when we're actually recording, it's actually harder for us to record but then we'll just go on tangent after tangent after tangent. Like the last episode, it took us half an hour to end the episode because it was just like we just kept falling into an organic conversation. Like, and I'm sitting there like, "Fuck, dude! Like, we gotta stop talking. We'll talk off air." But we just keep going.
Yeah, I heard that one. I heard that episode last Saturday, last weekend. I was like, I think it was Sunday actually, and I was just freaking. My kids were like, "You guys can't listen to this," and I put earbuds on.
Yeah, no, you messaged me because you were just like, "Dude, you ruined my day when you looked up the stuff we were putting."
No, I listened to that episode and I was like, "Oh my god, these guys are freaking hilarious!" But you guys started like, I guess I was listening on my phone and I'm like, "No, you guys can't hear this anymore." So I put the earbuds in, and
we are definitely not a family-friendly show. We are definitely for the adult taste and just open-minded type shit because we go and we reach out all over the place. We're kind of pigeonholed with the name. The name does not make sense at all because all we do is just talk about random shit.
Yeah.
But we came up with the name just because, like, we work all the fucking time. Literally, like, almost 7 days a week sometimes. Like, just doing different things. Like, constantly. I mean, shit. Yesterday, I went to work, got off work early, home by 1:30, and then Michael drove home, picked up his truck, and then brought out 2 pallets of tile for my brother's house, and I met him at my brother's house, and we downstacked 2 pallets of tile. Like, we're always doing shit. It never stops. It's ridiculous.
No, fuck all that. No, so I started off my podcast by being very cautious of what I said, being very, watching the bad words and stuff, and then one day I just decided, fuck it. Is what it is. Is what it is because they're gonna slip. It's naturally your vocabulary to throw in an F-bomb here and there. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, okay, delete that part. Now, don't get me wrong. Episode 1, Roger said something about his fucking antenna. I managed to delete the fucking out of that conversation so perfectly that you can't even tell he said fucking.
Audacity is amazing.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you that much because I do the same. Like there was times that I've interviewed people where they use disguised names, and with those disguised names, sometimes the real name slips up.
Yeah.
And for their privacy issues, like I promised them, I'm like, I will find it, I will cut it, it will be gone, it'll never be heard. And there's times where I've cut it seamlessly, where it's like, boom, you don't even hear it, it's gone. It's just as if it never happened. There's
conversations that I've recorded. And if the conversation doesn't make sense, I'll delete the entire conversation and it'll blend in with whatever we're talking about. So I can delete an entire 2-3 minutes of audio and it'll connect from wherever I cut it to where I connect it. And people hit me up that I heard the episode. I know what I said, but I can't even tell where you cut it.
I could find. There's been times where I've caught a couple of your little cut edits where I'm looking for stuff. Well, I'm not really looking, but it's natural to me because I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Because I listen to podcasts a ton now.
Yeah.
I used to never. Before I had a podcast, I never listened to them, and now because I want people to listen to mine, I'm like, I got to pay respect, and that's where I started listening to yours. I marathoned through a bunch of yours. You got way more than me. I don't got 40 fucking episodes. I got like 35 or something.
Well, here's 41, man. But
that's wild.
And because my thing is that I try to post one every Saturday. And honestly, I'm not through what is Anchor. I'm not getting any kind of change from I'm not getting any kind of money from anybody.
You can. I was going to talk to you about that. You can.
And I haven't.
That's the thing. I use Anchor because all you have to do is just record a commercial. That's it. Hey guys, just go and check out the app Anchor, Anchor.fm, and fucking post up your own podcast. You could do this, and this. The first 30 seconds of my show, every episode,
I heard it. I was like, wait a minute. Is that their voice? Is that their voice?
Yeah.
So I was like,
tripping out on a phone.
Oh shit, okay. Because right now, go ahead.
You could add it to all your episodes, and then from here on out, every listen you get, like you're not going to make buco bucks. We've made like $27 on it, but it's still $27 for fucking me talking. And and it's only going up. Like my podcast kicked off super slow. I'm not gonna lie, and it's still in my opinion, it's super slow. We get like on average between 70 or about 60 and 80 listens. Like on average, is 70 listens per episode. And to me, that's pretty decent, pretty good. But it's like we didn't put that Anchor thing in until late in the game.
Oh, okay.
And so, but it literally takes a minute of your time. You just read the script. You could go and say it however you want. I'm actually going to re-record that thing because that thing's shitty. I'm gonna put better audio and maybe put some music behind it.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, wait a minute, this commercial sounds like them. I actually caught it today. I'm like, that sounds like them, but I never really. I went through Podbeam, and because I didn't know about Anchor, and I went on Podbeam, and they're like, Podbeam, yeah. After you get, because I got the first 5 hours for free, and then I had to pay like $100 and some for like the whole month, for the whole year. And I was like, and it's gonna go on all these apps. I'm like, well, I'll go with them until my buddy Jacob Andrade, who does another podcast, he does Random Topics. He told me about Anchor, and I was like, shit, I already paid these guys. I'm gonna get my money's worth. And that's the way I see it. If I'm going to pay someone $108 for the year, then I'm going to get my money's worth, and I'm going to post one every freaking weekend if I have it. And if I don't have it, I don't have a guest, then I'll come in and I'll freaking rant about whatever I'm feeling, and we'll go from there. But yeah, no, I didn't know about that. But I did, like I said, I did catch your guys' voices today. I'm like, wait a minute, that's them.
Yeah, we recorded it last summer. I just grabbed the phone. I was like, dude, we gotta just do this. We got because that's how you start getting sponsors. Is you do read like that, and then eventually you hit a threshold. You'll get reached out by some low tier fucking budget thing or something, and then they'll be like, hey, throw in a commercial in a break, like separate your show, and that's how podcasts make their money. So it's like it's a process. But I mean, shit. $27 is $27. I'm just letting it rack up, bro. Yeah. It's like every 1,000 listens, you get $15.
Okay.
So I mean, look at that. You're already missing out on like almost $40 right there.
Fuck.
You feel me? 'Cause, dude, like that kind of pisses you off now, huh?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, that's $40, and that's. I mean, to me, the podcast, everything that's with the podcast, I initially like bought like some of the equipment and the stickers and stuff. After that, when I started selling stickers and stuff, like I sold like $800 in stickers. I'm not even joking. Like and I was buying stickers super cheap. So I had a guy that I would just be like, hey, I'm gonna buy 300 stickers off you, and I'd flip them, and now it's like I stopped selling them. I have a website for it that people could order on demand.
Yeah. But
I still even have those stickers, and I have fans that hook me up, and I'll go and I'll send them a random sticker pack or something. I just did that this weekend.
I was actually planning on, like I said from day one, I'm not trying to get rich and famous off of this. I really do like what I do. I like going out in public and selling beer. This is just for fun. This is therapy. My wife was actually thinking of making Ride With Me coffee mugs with the logo. And every time
baby, I got you. Just go on, make an image, put that shit on Redbubble, and then on Redbubble is it's your own store. It's a print to order. They can order shirts, mugs, stickers, socks, fucking scarves, bath mats, all of it. Redbubble.com goes and does everything. That's where I put all my shit. I have like 20 something images on Redbubble, and I just say, hey, go order from there. You want it? Go get it. You can have anything you want. And then you don't have to worry about the delivery. You don't have to worry about shipping, breaking it. You don't have to worry about nothing. You just literally you set the profit margin. So they'll have a base pay for a cup, $5. You say I'll sell the cup for $7. You make $2 on that cup. That's just an example. I don't know exactly what the prices are anymore.
Yeah, because my wife
I just set everything to 15%.
My wife owns a Cricut, and she wanted to get on it, but now that she has a full-time job, it's like, I'm kind of waiting for the mugs, girl.
No, dude, just go and skip the middleman, dude. That makes it so much easier. That's what all my other podcast buddies do. They're I go and follow the chain of command. So there's this one dude, the 3-hour episode guy.
Yeah.
He's what really got me inspired. I would listen to his podcast, and he does long episodes. And then I actually, he had, at the time I met him, he had 20-something thousand followers.
DW?
So I was like, no, this is local non-union. DW is new to the game, actually.
I started listening to that episode today.
Yeah, that guy's a badass. He's actually come down to here. He's slept in this room right here.
Nice.
It's fucking cool. But Garrett, local non-union, he's the one that's kind of put me under his wing and was like, hey, this is how I do all my sticker designs. He taught me how to go and draw with fucking on my iPad. I can't remember the name of the app. Procreate. He taught me how to draw stickers. He taught me, and then he told me, hey, you know what? Don't do stickers anymore. Go to Redbubble. And then he's done like, and so I just follow whatever that guy tells me.
Yeah.
Because he's got like 35,000 followers on his Instagram, and I'm like, the guy knows what he's doing, and he was untouchable to me until I hit him up. Like, I was just fucking with him I kept bothering him on his posts. Comment. And eventually he added us, and Michael called, because Michael was like, what the fuck? You got like a huge fucking follower. And I was like, oh yeah, bud, like this is, now we could touch people.
Yeah.
And now I've been to his office. I've been to Garrett's office.
Nice.
Like, that's sick.
So I have obviously my group of friends on Facebook and Instagram, pretty much the same friends. And on Instagram, I try to keep that private because that's where I have photos of the family. Facebook, not so much, so I'll make it public. But what I started doing is the same little clipping that I put on Instagram and Facebook, I started doing it for TikTok. And now I'm getting people freaking following me on YouTube, and they're watching the videos on YouTube because it's just the same. It's just the audio with the image of my podcast, the flat tire with the ride with me. That's what they see. It's not what we're doing right now. I don't do all this. And
are you getting a lot of views on YouTube? Like a ton, or not really?
The last, honestly, no joke, the last 2-3 weeks, because it goes by minutes watched, and I've been stuck at like 800.
That's not bad.
800 minutes. I've been stuck there. Dude, just in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's been like 1,800. Like, it doubled. So if it's I think it's because of TikTok. I don't post anything personal there. It's just a clipping of the preview of the episode. The 15 seconds preview that I give everyone on Instagram and Facebook, I put on TikTok. And over there I have like 700 plus friends.
Yeah.
And and like I said, people that listen to podcasts actually go, because like I said, it went from 800 minutes for a long time to all of a sudden almost, double.
Yeah.
So it's working because your Facebook and Instagram, you have your friends, the people that you physically know. So now you're
not me.
Well, not anymore.
Not me. Because I have my personal one.
Yeah.
I have the Brett one, and then I have Can't Quit My Day Job. And Can't Quit My Day Job is a community. That one's not. I have people from work. I have people from my life that I've known since elementary school. I got people from all over the United States. I got Montana, New York, New Jersey, Oklahoma, everywhere. On my Instagram.
I tried doing a Flat Tire Andy podcast Instagram only, and in the personal one, I can't go back and forth, dude. I got annoyed. I'm gonna delete it. No, I don't need it. So I just do it on TikTok, man.
Oh, there you go. Hey, whatever works for you, man. You're pulling in the numbers. That's what counts.
Yeah, I think
so it's like
episode number 1 is the one that has over 200 downloads on whatever freaking
audio,
iTunes or whatever audio. Yeah. So, and I feel that 200, the next 200 downloads, the next best one has like 120. So that means that I managed to capture half the audience. The first half was like, fuck yeah, we can listen to this. The second half was like, yeah, it's not for me. And so that's how I calculated. It's like, wait a minute, if the first episode has over 200 downloads and the best one has 120, then that means I managed to keep half the audience, because I don't know 120 people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tricky. Those numbers are really tricky to play with, because like there's like random episodes where like we did one of my worst episodes was the one of the mind of Brett McDaniel. That was one of my worst episodes, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I thought that was fucking awesome. Like, it's just me. I think I was ranting for like 45 minutes, like, and just talk because I was listening to someone else's bullshit podcast.
And it's like the same thing for me. The first episode is like, people like, I listened to your podcast. All right, quote something, and the first thing they say is like, we're live, and I was like, that is the worst one. I no offense to Roger or anything. That's the one I hate the most, because the audio sucks. We weren't ready for it. we called someone. It's just like, no.
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the bingers. That's what you get, is you get these bingers that come through, and like randomly, like your listens will just spike. It's ridiculous. Like, that's happened to us consecutively. Like, and I get people hitting me up, like I have my regulars where I know like they are anticipating when I do it. DW used to be like that. He would call me or text me and be like, "Motherfucker, when are you putting up an episode?" And like he would yell at me, and like that's why like one of the episodes I brought him in, because I'm just like, dude, I haven't got Michael, but I'll bring you in instead. And he's like, fuck it, let's roll.
Yeah.
Because his wife listens, so that's another one. Like, there's other people that I know that are anticipating when we're gonna record, and so it's weird. And then you like, so I know I'll get my first 50, boom, done. Don't even have to think about it. And then randomly, we just start getting random big-ass spikes of 10, 20 listens in a day. I'm like, what the fuck? Where the fuck did this come from? Like, it's wild.
With me, it's word of mouth, because it's like when I invite someone on the podcast, my intention is not only I know them, but I got them on the podcast, and then they're going to tell their family, hey, I was on the podcast. So, it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I tell you today, you're going to be on the podcast today, so you'll probably tell your friends, hey, go listen to this episode.
Oh, dude, it's going to get promoted to 1,200 people on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go in, and that's what we do. Like, anytime I go on someone else's show, or vice versa, if they come on my show, it's one of those things where I go and I blast it out there, because it's like you said, word of mouth, and hopefully some of your people will hear me talk about us shooting the shit and whatnot and how our shows are, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, what is this guy's show about? Just don't listen to the first episode. Start from the back and work your way backwards. we
I said the same thing. I said the same thing, bro. I told someone on Wednesday, don't even go listen, but it doesn't matter in what order you go to, because they're all over the place. I don't go from I was 1, then I was 2, then I was 3, then I was 5. No. I'm all over the place. It's whatever topic comes to mind, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm real big on triggers. So whatever triggers me, it's an emotional thing. So whatever triggers me, that's what we're going to talk about. Right now, I think we blabbered about the podcast a lot. What did you already say? What got you wanting to do a podcast?
No, actually, no. So my life's been like really rocky. So since I was a little kid, that's why I relate so much to your show. Like that, like, you know how our people, and I say our people as in the people that are like kind of fucked up in a little bit, like they had a fucked up past and they make the best of what it is. It's kind of like how our lives are. And I instantly picked that up right out the first episode, just hearing you guys talk and like getting the premise of what your show is. And what got me going was like, I grew up, my father died when I was a child, and then like some other bullshit happened, and like a lot of fucked up stuff happened as I was a kid, and I never let it get to me to the point where people didn't know any of this shit. Michael's sister, like, I've known Michael since a long time. I've known his sister since 8th grade. Her and I grew up together, and she didn't even know half the shit until she married my brother, where she's like, what the fuck, like, you guys are fucked up. And I was like, yeah, bro. And so we were like, Michael and I we always been hard workers, and we were like, we should go and tell our story, like just shoot. And then we've done so much stuff together where we used to work a full-time job at our grocery stores, work at the ranch that we work at on the weekends. And then I was going to college, and we were doing so much shit. And it's like, I was sleeping like 4 hours a day. And so it's like, we had stories on stories. So we were like, instead of writing a book, I was so inspired of writing a book that I was just like, fuck it, let's do a podcast. It's too much.
Dude, that is, oh my God.
Blew your mind.
To the fucking T, bro. To the fucking T. I grew up, again, didn't have a dad. My mom, wasn't the easiest to be raised by. And, fucking had horrible teens, horrible 20s. And I married into a family that likes to motivate people to move forward. And my wife's Uncle Roy, who's on episode Initiation, I forget the number, but he's the one that said, hey, you know what? Just out of the blue one day, he tells me, hey, man, you beat the odds. You had such a horrible upbringing, such a horrible life. in the beginning and you almost killed yourself. You have fucking stories. You do a podcast. And then he's like, plus you already have listeners because Valentine in the Morning, it's a morning show here in Burbank. They're the ones that gave you the nickname. They called you Flat Tire Andy. So you have listeners. People in LA know who you are, kind of. So
somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. So give them that. Like, you have listeners. I'm like, I thought about it, and then one day just fucking, okay, let's go. And then back in 07, I didn't even try to kill myself yet. But back in 07, 08, some guy tried to write a book on me. So it's like. So when he told me, when Uncle Roy tells me about the podcast, and I'm like, that'd be me writing my own book.
Yeah.
So
the cool thing about it is this is like, I heard you talk about how this is just something for your kids to listen to when they grow up. This is something like, this is your you said your time capsule.
Yeah.
This is the way I look at it, and also like, there's gonna be, we're not the only ones. You know what I mean? Like, there's other people. Like, we find each other. That's the thing. Like I said, you and I found you because I related to your shit. There's going to be tons of other people that come in behind us that are going to go and listen to the stories that we share. And I don't even like to share the bad shit because I have so much great shit in front of me where I'm like, dude, I'll tell you, like, I had some fucked up stuff happen. Now check this out. I bought this, and this because I worked hard. I didn't fuck around. I've been gainfully employed for 15 years. Like, I've not been unemployed for 15 consecutive years. And I worked my ass off every fucking day of my life to enjoy from when I was 15 years old on, because I took control and was like, I'm not going to let no one go and ruin my day no more. I'm going to ruin it. If someone's going to fuck up my day, I'm going to fuck up my day. That's it.
So So at first, the intention was to kind of like show people that listening that if you're having a tough time, life does get better as long as you go forward, as long as you know. And then, obviously, then he just started thinking about it. You know what? Nah, this is a story I'm going to leave behind for my kids. Now, my kids know some of these stories I try to leave behind. But at the end of the day, after I'm long gone, and Spotify and Anchor and all these companies are still around. I mean, look at YouTube. YouTube's been around forever. My kids will always find my voice. Always. Yeah. Example. On Wednesday also, my boys and I went to go get dinner, and I had my music in my phone on repeat on random, and my boy Scotty's song came on. Scotty was a hell of a salesman, amazing guy. I knew that guy for 5 years, and in 5 years, that man managed to capture our lives. Like he freaking, my kids. They told my wife, if you guys have a boy, if you guys do end up having another kid, and if it's a boy, can we name him Scotty? This is how much of an impact this man left in our lives. One of his songs came on, and I reminded them, you see, I mean, I'm not into the music that he sings or sang, but I'll listen to it because that's my boy, and I can still hear his voice. And my boys were like, that's what you meant about your podcast, Dad? We'll be able to hear you when you're long gone? Yeah, I mean, not only do I post them, but the audios are going to be on a flash drive somewhere for the rest of their lives.
Forever.
So,
rest of forever. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way I see it, man. The more I can do, the more I can leave behind, the more, the more they'll hear their dad. It's like, fuck, he's still here. He's right here with us. So. Yeah.
Well, I that's where it kills me, because it's like I go in, I say so much bad stuff on my show where I'm like, yeah, these kids better be adults when they hear this. And I'll even talk about the kids sometimes in the show. Like, oh yeah, my son Thor, he's a monster. I'm like, yeah, he did some stupid shit. And I just throw them under the bus because I want people to see, I'm a family man. I love my children. I do, and that's what pushes me and pushes you, is your children, is to wake up every day, grind it out, and show the prime example, so that way your kids will go and do the same thing to their kids and keep the generations going. And instead of living that statistic that you beat and that I beat, we beat the statistics, we could go and change that. And it's like you're getting rid of the family curse almost when you do stuff like this.
And I mean,
perfect, dude.
My stuff will be here, obviously, hopefully they leave it set up the way it is, and hopefully one day you can come in and check it out for yourself. And maybe they'll be like, Well, our dad had a good time you doing this. Why not? It's kind of like that movie Frequency. Homeboy, you never seen that one? Oh, that's a good one. Watch it. It's Homeboy in the 50s is playing with this like CB radio, right? Mm-hmm. That his son in the future manages to dig up, sets it up, and for some reason in the airwaves, they get to talk to each other. And it's a trip movie, dude. It's Frequency. It's a good movie, dude. Dennis Quaid, I believe, is in the movie. Dennis Quaid, okay. And then can't think of the other guy's name, but also a good actor. It's a good movie, dude. So that's why I see it's like it's not a CB radio, but it's a laptop that's been here for 40 years. Let's turn it on and see what happens. Oh shit, we hear our dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I said, I like doing this, man. I hear how much fun you guys have. A buddy of mine hit me up the other day. He's like, dude, I think I want to be on your podcast, dude. I hear you had one with our buddy Chris, and I it sounds like you guys have a good time all the time. Like, I have fun, dude. We laugh, we goof off. Even though I fucking sound embarrassing when I laugh, I don't delete it because it's me being normal, dude. It's like I like it. I like it, man.
You guys heard me die on the last episode. I died when he was like, "Fuck it, I'm better." Like, dude, I legitimately like died laughing on this last episode because we were zooming, and so I wasn't anticipating him. And like normally when we're next to each other, I could anticipate when he's gonna hit me with something, and he just got me good with that one. I was just like, "Oh shit, dude, I was not ready for that." One of
my cousins that came on the podcast by marriage, he freaking wouldn't get me to stop laughing, dude. I was like, "Shit, dude." Dude, this is too much. You gotta stop. And he even clowned on me too. I'm like, fuck, I set myself up for that one.
Yeah.
But dude, what got you into now that we're done with the podcast talk conversation again, hopefully, what got you into driving a truck, man? You were a salesman, right?
So, I started as a merch. Well, back in the day, I worked at Vons, the grocery business, and I asked for a raise. And they straight up, like, this was almost 8 years ago. I asked for a raise, and they said, you'd probably be better as a security guard because you're not going to get a raise.
That's on your first podcast.
So, yeah, and so I said, okay. And then I went and I got hired in with this company as a merchandiser, entry level, and I just worked my ass off. And I didn't even know about, like, I honestly, working in the grocery store, I didn't know that beer got delivered, like, from a third party. I thought, like, our trucks brought it in. And so to get involved with this company, it's ridiculous because I was like, holy shit, like this is a network. And like you find out like there's a vending network. And I've actually used it to my advantage a couple times. But
yeah.
We go
real quick. And again, Roger checked me on this one. My buddy Chris checked me on this one. It's not that I purposely try to cut you off. It's just that you hit a note and it's like you catch my attention, and if I don't say it now, I'm gonna forget later on. Or I'll say it when it had nothing to do with anything. I didn't know about vendors also. I used to work at Walmart. Shout out to Walmart 2032. I used to work at that store, and I was in the houseware department, like microwaves and spoons and shit like that. And after being there for like 4 months, they told me that department's too easy for you. We're gonna put you in a more challenging department. And they put me over in foods, and people were trying to talk me out of it. Oh, you got to deal with vendors now. You got to deal with this. I'm like, the fuck are vendors? What are vendors? So I had no idea exactly that freaking there was other.
There's a network. It's a whole different world. It's a world like all the commercial stuff that you guys see, the Pepsi, a 7-Up, and all that other shit. Yeah, those are their own private companies coming through and doing the delivery. So yeah, I wanted to be my first. When I was a merch, my first driver I had, like that was my consecutive same driver. He was trying to get me to become a driver, and I tried, and I failed. I just kind of like, I talked to my supervisor, and he was like, no, you got a natural talent for sales. You need to come to sales. And I was like, all right, like whatever. Okay, cool. And that year, like it was cool because how long have you been with the company?
I'm going to be 8 years in August.
Oh, shit. Okay, so you know about the yearly breakfast then.
We had one on Wednesday.
Okay. So yeah, the yearly breakfast. my first yearly breakfast, I went there. I saw this kid
Yeah.
get the merch of the year check, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "That thing is sick." Oh, I got mine in the garage, baby. that next year, I told myself that day, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have that check. Like, I will get that. I'm gonna work my ass off." And as a merch, I sold creative displays. I did this. I did that. I did everything. And the breakfast is in February. And I interviewed for sales in March. Like, because I got that fucking award. They were like, "You're the best merch of the year. You killed it, blah, blah, blah." I interviewed as a relief salesman.
You have bragging rights.
I stayed there for 3 years as a relief salesman. And I conquered all of, like, from Mecca, 29 Palms, and Palm Springs, everything in between. I was out in the desert. And I still know all the customers out there. I could still go, like, if I had to drive out there, I could easily manage all that shit.
Well, when there's
Michael, go ahead.
I said no. When there is when they have like a success stories or whatever, they ask, "Hey, who started at the bottom? Who started as merchandisers?" And I'm the only one that doesn't raise my hand.
Oh man,
I went straight to sales, bro.
I was gonna ask you about that.
I went straight to sales.
Lucky. But Michael actually, when I got hired in to go and be in sales, Michael got hired in as a merch. I helped push him through the back door because I was like, "Hey, I got credibility. This guy will replace my spot as a merch. He's a killer. He's my brother. Like, we'll kill it." And so he got the job, and then he was like, "Yo, I want to be a driver," like almost instantly. And so our manager loved him. He has great work ethic and all that stuff. So he helped push him into delivery. And I was like, "Fucking Michael did it. I could do it." And so Michael and I, for weeks, would sit there and bash out the practice testing until I got my permit. And then we bashed out until I got my license. And, like, we helped each other. Like, he did his on his own. I'm not going to take any thunder from that guy. That guy killed it. He fucking got his license, got the job, and killed it. And then he did everything in his power to help me go and get up to his level. And then we both became drivers. I'm going to my 3rd year of delivery, and I beat you by a month. I'm July. Oh, no. I'm August from 8 years ago. Holy shit.
Damn.
So, yeah, August. I'm
13.
August 19th.
13.
Oh, we're a week up. So you're a week on me.
Yeah, well, no, I got hired on August. No, I think August 17 of 13. 2013.
13? Okay. So, yeah, then you're 2 days. I was August 19th of 13.
Damn. Oh, shit.
Fucking crazy. So, yeah, but, yeah, I was going to ask you, how did you get straight into sales? And then also the other thing I wanted to ask you, we'll revert back. First, because of your past, how did you get, like, hired in? Like, you don't have a past because you went to jail, or no, you do still have a past with the jail? Because you said it got expunged, right?
Nah, so I mentioned about how I got in this company in episode Power Trip Andy. I was actually lecturing my boy another Chris Chris Smith. I love you, bro. You ditched me on Plunder today. Anyways, I was like lecturing him about, the salesman was doing blind orders. And I was getting frustrated that the back room was getting cluttered. And back then, I didn't know the difference between a case. I didn't know that one case had 4 units, one case had 2 units, one case had 12 units. I didn't know the lingo. And, 500 cases are coming in. I'm like, all right,
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So until one day I decided to be like, fuck this. Hey, boss, homeboy's saying that he's coming in at 5 in the morning. Can I clock in at 5 in the morning so I can catch the fucker? Yeah, go for it. All right, cool. 7 o'clock comes around like normal. Hey, man, I was there at 5 o'clock. Really? What time? I mean, I didn't see you. I've been here since 5 in the morning myself. And that guy hated me, by the way. When I got hired with this company, he was like, the hell? It looks like they'll keep anybody around. I mean, and no, he said, it looks like they'll hire anybody. And I was like, all right, puto, I'll have a joke for you later on. And then when this current owners bought that company and they kept him around, then my response was, well, it looks like they'll keep anybody around. So anyways, I'm lecturing Chris. I'm ripping him a new one. It's not his fault, but I'm just frustrated with the whole company. And that a guy comes in and, I ripped him a new one too. But after after like half an hour of him watching how I treated customers, how I obviously knew my shit when it came to ordering. He saw me freaking running my department. Like, he was really keeping an eye on me, where he offers me a job. And my response was like, well, I don't quit my job. I don't quit. So,
yeah,
your business card is just going to go back here. But until I was unhappy, because they take me out of my comfort. They like, hey, you managed to make this department, you have managed to make this department profitable in 6 months that the previous person in 2 years couldn't handle it. 6 months. And so we can put you somewhere else. So they were trying to already mold me into becoming something bigger than what, but that involved me being moved to a different department. So I was like, oh man, no. But they're like, that's the only way you're going to move up. And I'm like, and it's going to be good if you know the whole store when you move up. And I was like, dude, I was disappointed, dude. I had the biggest department, the most stressful department in the whole store, and I didn't want to leave it,
Yeah.
So they moved me over. So so what they did was they pretty much picked up this other guy, and they switched us. So I went to his department, he went to mine. And now to this day, people at 2032, that's my department, cabrones. It's always going to be my department. And they moved me, and I go and I'm like, this department looks like shit. Nothing is up to date. Nothing is, all these tags are wrong. These sets are wrong. These schematics are wrong. So I started like on top of it. The fish tanks were disgusting. I would spend my last hour of my shift just staring at the fish, where people will walk by and it's like, well, I did everything I was supposed to do. I did my price changes. I did this and I did that. Now I have to maintain this also as part of my department. So, dude, before I left that store, the freaking fish tanks were spotless, where people were like, managers from other departments will come up to me like, dude, do you own fish? No. Dude, how does this look so clean? You guys gave me a manual. You guys, nobody reads this thing? Yeah, and I'm not a reader, but I'm not going to let these fish die,
Yeah, you got a moral obligation.
So, and then, but like, to me, I felt like I was kicked in the nuts, because, I get moved from, let's say, a spotless department to a, and they just switched us. It's like, that's a kick in the nuts to me. So, I wasn't happy, dude. And, so 2 months of me doing that, then the store shrinks over almost $2 million. So then now the store manager's running around, and it got bad, dude. It's like, so one day out of the blue, I was like, oh, there's that business card. So I got demoted. I asked for a transfer, and they were already not happy with me because I wasn't happy. And they were quick to freaking get rid of me. They put me over in a different store, working nights. So I'm working nights.
Oh, yeah.
During the day, interview, piss test, interview, drug test, all this other bullshit. By then, my background wasn't an issue because it was years ago. So we're now speaking 2013. I was convicted in 2006. So we're talking years back. Plus, the reason why I didn't question it was because I was a manager at Walmart. The guy that put me in through the back door, pretty much, like you said, credibility. He was good. So they believed him. I was like, well, if he's pushing this guy in. So that wasn't an issue. My felony was expunged back in, I think, after 2-3 years of me already working for this company. It's funny because I told my boss, hey, I'm gonna miss next week on this day. I gotta go to court. And he's like, you got a felony? And I kind of like, and he was like, nah, don't worry about it. And he's like, don't worry about it. Me too. The fuck?
Dude, that's what I love this company, man, because they take, it's almost like what you said, where they take anybody, because they really do. They go, and sometimes you get a great group of people, and sometimes you get some shitbags. You never know until you meet the people. And it's almost like the culture that they kind of like form around the people. You could kind of see the cliques. And, like, all the people that click up together are pretty much the same assholes or the same crybabies or the same this or same that. And, like, Michael and I at work, we're the freaking Bash Bros. Like, we come in wild at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're just like, what's up, motherfuckers? Like, we'll just go and start, like, talking shit to people. We'll go to a driver and look at that route and be like, oh, you're fucked. And then, like, shit. All week I've been getting off early, and so like I've just been randomly like posting, like, because we haven't been posting enough on Instagram, so I'm like, fuck it.
I've seen you lately. I've seen you lately. On top of that,
going back to the roots of, you know what, I'm gonna show these motherfuckers, like, because I do low stock count, high volume accounts. So I'll do, like, today I only had 2, or on Wednesday I only had 2 accounts. On Monday, I think I only had like 4 or 5. Like, I don't know. I do a little bit of stops and a lot of volume.
Okay.
And so, like, on Thursday, I had Midway Junior, and that was like 500, 600 cases. And so, like, that I just do these huge accounts that are like the top, and it's all, I peel and wheel everything. I don't have drops. I don't do no Stater Brothers, no Walmarts, none of that. It's all big ass dirty liquor stores out in Paris. And Michael's route is right next to me. We actually weaseled our way to get our routes right next to each other.
This guy.
And so we're in the highest paid tier, like, in the group. Like, our average is like significantly higher than the base average of a driver. Like, an average driver does like 200,000 cases. 206 is the actual number. And we were doing over 300,000 between the two of us.
On New Year's Eve 2019, to jump into 2020, I would never forget this. 11:45 p.m. on December 31st, 2019, I get a text message from my driver. Just says layers, and I was like, I wasn't home. We were with my in-laws. I think my brother-in-law's house. I come home and I see the phone and it says layers. I respond, what about layers? He said 100K, and I was like, he goes, fucker, you made me 100K this year because you order in layers. Oh, my drivers love my orders, dude. My merchandisers love my orders. And sometimes when I talk to the salesman or when I'm on vacation, I'll get a text, you're on vacation, aren't you? Like, literally the freaking, that Tuesday, you're on vacation, aren't you? Why? Because homeboy ordered 8 instead of 9, or homeboy
instead of 9 or 7.
Homeboy ordered 12 instead of 14. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm on vacation. My bad. He goes, fuck. I'm like, don't trip. I'll double the layers next week to make up for the difference.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's in. We haven't talked about it on our show, but we both hit 100,000 this year by fucking working. And, like, I stack my truck. So, like, I drive a 48-foot truck, and I stack. Like, during the beginning of the pandemic, like, we were kind of scared. Everyone was scared. The company was scared. Everyone was fucking terrified. I heard that podcast episode. And, dude, I did fucking 2,000 cases multiple times. Like, I was doing it Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I was doing 2,000 cases each day. Or, no, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It was ridiculous. Like, I was doing these ridiculous case counts, and I was stacking it all. And Michael was doing pretty much the same thing. He has more drops than I do, but he also stacks a shit ton. Like, between the two of us, fuck, dude, it was some hard work. But this last year, 2020, the COVID fucking made us. I had a great year. I hate to say it, but yeah, I had a great 2020.
I believe I said in the beginning of my podcast, I think we're talking episode 12, 13, somewhere in there, 14, 15. I said it is like 2020's being good to me, and we're talking mid of 2020, and I'm already saying how good 2020 is for me, and it ended up even better. My wife ended up a job landing on her lap, and now, you know, the other part of the garage is her office, and that's why earlier you heard me shout the door, "Hey, I'm recording." That way they don't come back in here. And but 2020 was good to us, dude, and it looks like 2021 is going to be just as good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you set your future by going and setting it up for success, and as long as you go and you the thing is you have to grind it out. Like, that's what people think, like, oh, privilege this and that bullshit. Nah, fuck that. You just gotta grind that shit out, man. Like, I work my dick off every goddamn day just to make sure, like, I have like I said, if anyone's gonna fuck me, it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
Like, they did a reroute for us recently, and I was talking to my supervisor, and I was picking up extra stops. I was filling up my truck, and he's like, "Why are you taking stops from this guy? Like, this guy should keep those stops." And I said, "You don't understand. You guys built a route based off of the numbers recently, but you're not basing it off of the summer. In the summertime, gloves are off. In our area in Paris, I don't know if you've heard about Paris. Paris is a motherfucker. It's our highest volume area. Like, we are in the highest volume area, and basically the guy next to me is the highest paid driver. So I'm taking stops off of him because I already know if I don't take those stops off of him now, they're going to be put onto me, and then they're going to give me some other crap. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take those stops now. I'm going to front load it, put it at the beginning of my truck, so once I start getting too full, they take off the small crumbs on the backside of my truck. Because I don't want the small accounts. I want low stop count, high volume. So if I know I could do 10 pallets at an account and then do another 8 pallets at another account, there's only room for 8 more pallets. So figure it out.
When they rerouted us, I was like, why are you giving me, 3 more chains in a drugstore and like 5 liquor stores? Like, they didn't take any from mine. They added more. I was like,
yep.
I'm not gonna. You can do it. Like, when I first came out here, because I'm originally from Ventura County. I originally started in Ventura County. I've been out here in October. I think it's going to be going on 4 years in October that I've been out here. So the first year I did Azusa area. Within 2 months of me being in Azusa area, they took 8 stops from the salesman next to me, and they gave them to me. The Landres can handle it. Shit, okay. Then I come to La Puente, which I live on La Puente, and I live on my route.
Yeah.
Dude, I come home for lunch every day, and I'm not ashamed to say that.
I drive by my house.
Yeah?
I drive by my house.
Nice.
Yeah. I tell they're opening up a new warehouse 10 minutes from my house.
Nice.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Oh, yeah.
So, they added, like I said, they added another store. They added more stores, and I'm like, what the hell? This is going to be, no joke, the first 2 weeks was stressful. And now, I can get my days done in 8 hours, and it's like, the guys are like, the fuck, dude? We're out here 9-10 hours, and I remind them, I did my time. I freaking drove for 4 years. I drove an hour to get to my freaking destination to only drive 2 hours back home. So for me to clock out and be home in 5 minutes, I did my time. I've earned it.
Yeah.
So I love it, dude. I'm not ashamed to say it. I live on my route, and I like coming home at 2:35.
Dude, I straight up tell people, like, hey, you want at first I say, you don't want these gloves, like, you don't want these hands, because my route is so crazy. But people are like, man, you're so lucky. You only got like 2 stops. You only got 3 stops. And I'm like, motherfucker, you want to swap? I was like, I will run circles on your route, because as you know, we're not hourly. So like, to go and work fast is in our blood. Like, fucking Wednesday, I was home by 11 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
Dude, like, you could say that. Like, I leisurely walked into work. Like, I had no stress at all. Like, I went in, I think I got there at like 3:15.
Wednesdays,
just chilling.
Yeah, Wednesdays are my easy day too. And we had that company breakfast, and that was an hour and a half. The breakfast is 30 minutes. The meeting was an hour. And because Wednesdays is so cake, I was actually done with the route that I'm like, well, there's always something to do. So I went and hit up other stores and make sure that they have no breakage. And I started repacking, cleaning it up. I mean, got a boo-boo. Yeah. But
I saw you had some tape.
Yeah,
tape on your
I
hand.
took it off earlier. It's my wife's like, "Why do you have tape on your hand?" I'm like, "That's a Band-Aid. I freaking cut myself. There was Corona bottle broken." But that's our everyday life, man. It's like, I like doing it. I really do.
Yeah,
I really do. Look at that. Just talking to you right now, I just got the producer from Valentine in the Morning asking me when can he be on the podcast. Freaking love it.
That's a gangster.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch real quick, and then we could move on from it, but I wanted to talk about that little vendor thing, the vendor community real quick, because it's fucking crazy. So my buddy, you don't know who's watching you. That's the thing. Like, you never know until someone asks. And so my buddy used to work at a car, like his dad owns the car wash, and he was managing and running the car wash for like a long ass time. And he's been following me on Instagram, and I'd run into him randomly, and he one day just hits me up and he goes, "Hey dude, like I want to buy a house with my lady, and I need more of a solid income. Like, what can you do to help me?" And I was like, "You could apply here." I was like, "But we're not looking for people right now." It was at the time we weren't looking for people. I was like, "We just hired a bunch of people." But go to 7-Up. I was like, 7-Up is always hiring. I guarantee you'll get a job there. Guy goes, applies, gets the job. Well, I'm bumping elbows with the supervisor of 7-Up because they see how aggressive I was. As a relief salesman, I was super aggressive. I demand, like when I walked in the store, I demanded the floor. I would be like, this is going like this, boom, 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 boom. I had displays like crazy in the chain stores. I literally, when it comes to like the broad market, I was building resets. I would walk in, I'd start from the budget door, work all the way down to the F&Bs, and knock out a whole reset, build a Modelo door, build a Corona door, build a Tecate door, build them, take pictures of them, go home, go on my laptop, and build the schematic on the laptop, and then come back with a printed schematic and be like, bam, there's your reset, motherfucker. Like,
nice.
I was in sales, I could have gone super far, but I got pushed out of it. And I was like, I'm glad I got pushed out of it. But I was bumping elbows with the 7-Up guy, and I helped push that guy to get into the job. And then motherfucker becomes a salesman because the guy knew who I was, and then I was giving him some tips. I was like, this is how I do this, boom, boom, boom. And like I would give that kid some advice and run it through. And now he's like, he hit me up randomly like a month or two ago, and he goes, "Hey, what do you think about me being a driver?" And I was like, "Go for it." I was like, I'll tell you exactly how to do it. But it's like that network, and like he could go and be like, "Hey, remember that guy Brett that was out here?" And he could use me as a dude. So another person that worked for us, it was a driver. Him and I came up together as merchants. We both got our licenses together at the same time and everything, and we both got brought into delivery at the exact same time. And he actually got let go because he got into an altercation at an account, and he assaulted somebody allegedly. Like he pushed the guy, and the guy pressed charges, and because of that he was more of a liability, so the company had to let him go.
Oh shit.
And he just had a baby, and he was freaking out. And he hit me up, and he's like, "What do I do?" I was like, "Call my buddy Cade, he's at 7-Up, he will go and talk to his supervisor, and you'll get a job there." Within fucking 2 weeks, that motherfucker's driving for 7-Up.
Damn. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
And it's like, it's just that network.
Yeah.
I had our beer competitor trying to pull me over there. They're like, "We'll let you do whatever you want." And I was like, "No, fuck you guys. You guys don't pay enough." Like, you guys don't understand. I'm going where the money's at. Like, I'm following the money. That's all. It's all I've ever been.
I was asked one day about coming to work for this company or what they should do, and I said, "Come work for us." And he was like, "I'm not." He looked at me like fucking conceited. I'm like, "I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because I work for them. I'm saying it because the facts are, our company is taking over everything. You guys are getting a new warehouse,
and then also
they just bought.
Think about the opportunities that you've gotten.
Yeah, they just bought the freaking the warehouse in Reading. They just recently took Bakersfield. They are buying everything. At the end of the day, one day, it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna be working for us. You know.
And then you failed to mention anything from McDonald's,
Yep.
Brower,
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep.
Dude, it's ridiculous, this company.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the opportunities from the start, when I was a merchandiser, the opportunities that I've had up until present date are things that I would never fathom that I would be able to get on my own. Because my wife is a college student. She's almost done with college, and she'll be a teacher by next school year.
Yeah.
But it's like her being a teacher is going to fund the travel trailer, the dirt bikes, all the extra fun shit. Like when it comes to the mortgage and the utilities and the truck payment and the motorcycle payment, like that's all on me. And it's crazy to think, fucking tell me 8 years ago when I first started, like, hey, can you believe you'll be living in a very sought after place in Riverside? Like, I would have never believed that.
That I have something in my head right now, and I freaking completely forgot. Remember that police officer I was saying about in the beginning of the podcast?
Yeah.
It's all over the news. But anyways, the networking with the vendors is funny. You were saying earlier, because when I was still working at Walmart, there's this one wine vendor that would come in and he would slam the back room again. Also slam the back room. And back then I didn't know shit about cases and whatnot. So one day I'm like, you know what? Nah, tell me which SKUs are yours. So I would scan them. I'm like, why are you going to send me another case when you have 12 in the back and you sell one a week? Boom. Why are you going to send me another case when you have 20 in the back and you sell one a month? Blah, 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 blah. So his 80 case order went to zero. I freaking slammed. I canceled this order for like 3 weeks. And then one day, okay, you can send 4. A week later, okay, you can send 8. There you go. Now you can send your 80 cases because he had nothing in the back.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple years later, I'm a relief salesman for the Silmore office, but I'm merchandising when there's nothing to do. So I went and merged this one Target I in the valley somewhere, and I'm in my section. I'm organizing my section, and I hear a voice. Now this son of a bitch sounds familiar. I walk up to receiving, and I recognize the guy. I was like, and I tell the receiver, yo, he's trying to screw you over with 80 cases too. Fucking homie looks at me. He goes, fuck you. He was so pissed because he remembered how much of a dick I was to him over there. No joke, people. They pushed us. They taught us to be assholes, and that's why sometimes, to me as a salesman, I've been like, I'll tell my customers, I've been in your shoes. I was that guy. I was that prick, and I was this guy. I remember vendors would tell me, "Oh, you're not gonna be my manager anymore. You're gonna go." Yeah, fuck you, man. I don't even like you anyways. I'm like, it's cool, dude. It's cool. So now I know, and that it's funny because we go back to the episode my buddy Chris was on. Is be careful who you're an asshole to, because one day, like I said, Chris, he's my boy now. It's like, fuck.
Well, actually, you just heard me talk about that.
Yeah.
I picked up an account where the guy was being a dickhead to me, and I'm like, bro, you don't have no clue who you're fucking talking to.
Yeah.
Now I'm your fucking driver?
Yep.
Oh, you're fucked.
Yeah, for not wearing a mask.
Yep, I was telling the lady at Rite Aid down the street. I was telling her about it because I was like, man, this guy, like, I was laughing because I thought it was so funny. And she's like, well, how can you guys get that guy back? Because that place is just a lineup. So I'm like, oh, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the shelves and I'm gonna put everything he needs on the bottom of the stacks. And then she's like, you could do that? And I was like, oh yeah, bud, you have no clue. I could look at an order and I know what you need. That shit's going to be buried on the bottom, and all the books going to be up, and then I'm going to flip the fucking handles inwards and outwards so that way it crisscrosses each other. So it's not going to be a straight, like, I will make them work harder just to go and prove a point. Like, you don't treat someone like that, bro.
No.
You don't, especially a customer, dude, a paying customer. That's a big-ass truck. I drive a 3500. So it's like, dude, and I'm going there. I'm driving out of my way to go to that gas station, those fuckers.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, working for this company, doing what we do as vendors, actually has opened my eyes to obviously to watch who you are, watch who you talk to, see how you talk to people. You've been there, so you know what they're going through. Yeah, you hate there's sometimes you go in and they're in a bad mood. Hey, you're coming all cheerful and everything. You just had the weekends off. They didn't. You got to put yourself in their shoes. Sometimes they're like, hey, they like you because you're a little too nice to them. Like, but that's what we want. We want to build that relationship. We want to be able to come and say, hey, Mike, what's going on, man? How's Susie doing? You know what I mean? Meaning his daughter or whatever the case would be. I don't know if Mike has a daughter named Susie. That's just what I came up with. But, you want to, like, when I left my route in Santa Barbara, I cried my last day. I cried. I went into one of my accounts, and I'm gonna say his name, Boyu, man. I fucking love that man. This guy, every Friday he wanted to give me like a knuckle touch, but not just a fucking knuckle. The motherfucker will swing his arm and he'll fucking get his hand ready and he'll freaking swing to hit me. So I never get tired of saying that story. But with Boyu, I walked in and, hey, Boyu, this is my last day here. I'm moving to La Puente, and I'm going to start my new route on Monday in Azusa. And it was nice, being your salesman for the past 3 years. And what made me cry was when he responds, you know what I like about Fridays, Andres? No, Boyu, what is it? He goes, I know Andres is coming. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I walked outside.
Got you.
Fucking babe, these fucking goodbyes. I hate goodbyes, dude. He fucking had me in tears, dude. It's like, but you get more out of being their friend than, I'm not going to go hang out with them. I'm not going to go fucking barbecue with them. But if you're fucking nice to somebody, I don't care what they tell me. You have to be more of a push. You have to be more pushy. You have to be more, okay, well, guess what? I wasn't pushy, and I still got the Employee of the Year.
Yeah.
I wasn't a dick, and I still got the Employee of the Year. Exactly. So I think I'm doing something right. And, it's a lot easier to tell. It's a lot easier for me to, be nice to them so that when I need something, they're not going to fucking say no. Hey, you know what?
Dude. Yeah.
I have a walk today. I need all that fucking fruit that you guys have in produce gone, and I want all that beer. Because I'm nice to them, they're going to say no problem. Hey, bananas to the back.
Yeah.
Done.
I had an account that literally, like, the first day I met him, I was going to punch him. I fucking hated this guy. Hated him. Like, I don't know if you deal with a lot of Arabic. Yeah, I don't know if you deal with a lot of Arabic dudes, but this guy's an Arabic dude. And this fucking guy, like, he was so bad with me. Like, him and I were going at it so bad. He called my boss. Like, he went straight to, like, the branch manager. Not my supervisor. He went to the big boss. And the big boss called me. He's like, don't worry about him. Like, Tom's crazy. I understand. He's like, I should have warned you, but you'll be fine. But I wanted to deck that guy. Just this past weekend, I went to his store just so I could go see him. He's an hour away from me, but I was in the area, and I was like, I just want to go see Tom because I haven't seen him in 2 years, 3 years, and he wasn't even there. But it's like that guy, by the end of in the middle of our relationship, real quick, he always gave me favors. And there was a hotel I fucked up, and I ordered like 20 cases of Corona Light 12-pack cans. That's a hard fucking sell.
Yeah.
And they needed bottles. No. They needed bottles, and I sent them cans. So I had to I hit up Tom, and I was like, you get Friday delivery. I was like, I need to send you fucking 20 cases of cans, and I'm going to bring you back Corona Light bottles. And he was like, okay, just make it disappear.
Exactly.
And it was on my leisure time. He sold through part of it, and then I was going out and swapping Corona. I stopped selling Corona Light for like 2 weeks because I was just going around fucking boom, just flipping them for Modelo and Corona.
Yeah.
But it's like I never let that guy down, and I always knew, like, if I had a situation, call Tom. And he had 3 different stores that I could feed off of.
Like example here.
Like, that's the thing.
Like example here, and it'll probably be like one of my last stories before we end the podcast. An example here, I moved. They moved me to a different territory, and I had this one liquor store that's actually around the corner from my house. And my first day into that store, she was already pissed off at the last salesman, and that's not. I'm gonna be everything he's not. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? So I walk in, and she starts complaining about breakage. Now, a little lesson on breakage, people. If a customer breaks something, it is not our responsibility as a vendor to give you credit for it. It is a California state law that we cannot pick up breakage. So she starts complaining about the breakage. She starts, it's funny. I was just talking to her on Tuesday. That's why I started freaking getting all excited earlier, because it's like, fuck, this guy's hitting another point. I was talking to her on Tuesday about it. And, so I walk in, I'm talking to her, and she starts getting under my skin, dude. And she's like, this and that and breakage and blah, 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 blah. And what pissed me off is, again, triggers that I mentioned earlier. She hit one of my triggers. She goes into the back. We go into the back, and I tell her about, she wants to split orders. And I mentioned something about online. And she's like, talking to the competition rep, like if I'm not standing there. And she's talking to him and making me feel stupid. And to me, that's like a fucking trigger. I was like, oh, fuck,
Yeah,
no.
it's a disrespect.
You know what, ma'am? You're being very disrespectful, and I walked the fuck out. On my first day there, it was ugly. I walked the hell out of the store. No joke, not even 5 minutes later, I get a phone call from my boss. Hey, what happened at the store? La happened. He goes, all right, you're, don't leave. Hold on. Calls me back. Hey, the owner of the store's going to call you right now. All right, cool. The owner calls me and apologizes for her behavior, and then don't talk to her. Go in there, write me an order. I walk in there, and they're used to getting 200 cases of freaking beer a week. 35 cases, deuces, and I walk out. A week later, I come in again. She tries to be that aggressive lady, right? And I'm like, look, ma'am, your boss said not to talk to you. 40 cases, later, and I take off, right? Week number three. Now it's like she's kind of like more, all right. Look, it's because of breakage and this. I understand, ma'am, that the breakage is an issue for you, but if the store owner is not even bringing it to my attention, why are you stressing about it? So we're getting somewhere. From there on, we'll just go over the order. She reviews the order. Boom, a month later, she doesn't even review anything. So this is a very tough account for the last salesman that my boss now is impressed of the distribution that I have in this store. So one day my boss fucking around asked her, hey, what is it that Andres is doing that homeboy couldn't do? And she's like, all Andres has to do is putter his eyes, call it a day. Like, what? No, that's not true, man.
Fuck it though. Fuck it. I mean, but that's what's cool. Like I have one of my worst accounts, and it's still like my worst account. But it's insane because every other driver has either been kicked out or got into a fight with them or something of the sort. And I've talked about it plenty on my podcast. And my supervisor now looks at me in there and he's like, how do you, I command the room when I walk in. Any account I go to, I command the room. I go, I don't want to be here. So let me get the fuck in and get the fuck out. Like that's simple. But, and so, the way that they talk to me, he's like, how did you do that? Like, how did you break them? Because they would go, they would follow this driver and they would watch them in the cooler and stay on top of them. And I'm at the point where they're just like, let Brett do what he does. He's gonna put it away right. And the last 2 weeks I've been fucking him, or the last 2 deliveries I've been fucking him because the wife has just been out of control and she won't leave me alone. So I'm like, okay, I got you, bro. Yeah. So instead, I used to separate everything. My cooler is nice and clean. Let's separate everything. Now I'm like, nope, push it all back, slam it. And I'm just like, until you learn to respect me, no problem. I got you, bro.
Yep. Well, bud, I mean, it was fun having you on, man. It was a pleasure having you on. Again, follow this guy's podcast. Can't quit my day job. Yeah, podcast on Spotify, Anchor,
anywhere. Just fucking Google it. You'll find it. They're all over the place.
They're funny. It's him and your brother. You said? I just learned it today.
Best friends, brothers.
Okay.
We've been lovers forever.
And you guys did talk about some penises earlier in a different episode. So listen to their podcast again. They're pretty funny. They keep you entertained. It's just the same idea, just bullshit. Bullshit's what we do, man. And last word of advice from you, bud?
Fucking take it easy, bro. Don't stress the fuck. Here it is. Only worry about the shit you can control. If you can't control it, fuck off. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Yes, sir. And like I end every podcast, buddy, thank you for riding with me.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie Podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.